Hello everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Season 9 of The Current. My name's Kylie, and today we'll be talking to Communication Studies Society President Reece Littleton. Stick around, The Current starts now. Hey Reece, thanks for coming out today. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody?
Yeah, so I'm Reece Littleton. I am a senior graduating in December, which I'm super excited for, and I'm also president of Communication Studies Society, as you just mentioned.
Awesome. And so why are you a comm major?
So I went to online community college to start out, and I had a terrible GPA, terrible student. So I decided first year, okay, I'm going to apply to a bunch of schools and see if they let me in. So whenever you apply to UNCW, you click on it, and then you click, all the stuff. What major do you want? And I'm like, so I'm scrolling through it, and I'm like, okay, I'll do communication studies because it sounded the most simple. It's the simplest one. I was going to click biology, but then I was like, I don't care about biology. So no, but yeah, that's why actually. And then whenever I got into the major, I was like, okay, I made the right choice. But yeah, I just decided it because it looked simple, because it was just simple to click on. That's why I did it.
Nice. And so you said you're a senior. What are your future career plans?
Well, I'm planning to go to grad school, but I'm also graduating in December, so I'll be the next future employee at Publix. So that's my career plans next year. But I'm kind of wanting to go to grad school for communication studies to do everything else I want to do.
That's awesome. So I know that you're the president of CSS. What is your involvement with that?
Well, my involvement with that started in fall of 2022. I was originally the publicity chair, so I did all of that, all the promotional PowerPoints. I also did all the PowerPoints everybody saw in Comp 200 when you were just clicking through Point Solutions. You know who you are. But yeah, so that's kind of where it started. And then fall 2023, I became president, and then I'm still president now, and that's kind of how it started. But as president, I manage the executive board team, email our advisors, which are Dr. Olson, the department chair, and Dr. Stewart, who some people may have had in the comm major. And so I kind of just coordinate a bunch of things, and it's kind of a managerial position, but also it's one of the favorite things I do in college. So.
Awesome, that's really cool. So what exactly is CSS and why should someone join it?
Well, somebody should join it, if you're a comm major. So we do the involvement carnival a lot, and the first question we ask is, are you a comm major? So bare minimum, yes, you need to be a comm major to be in CSS. But basically what CSS helps people with is we help people with professional development and insights into the major. Those are the two important things, and we've kind of started to shift more towards community-based because after COVID, every single college and university, the feeling of community on campus is void. It's not there. And so now the focus this semester is kind of building more community because that's a very important part. Because you want to go into a comm class and know who's in your class and talk to them. Definitely. And I think that's really important. So that's kind of the thing I've kind of shifted to is, okay, yeah, professional development, all that, but focusing on the whole thing of, being a person, which is the social aspect of school, is something I'm trying to make us shift to with CSS.
Yeah, that's totally cool. So with that, what kind of events does CSS plan to help things like that?
Well, we do a bunch of events, but the main one everybody talks about that I've talked about is Make the Most of Your Major. It's an event where all of the comm faculty will submit their courses for the next semester, and they come into a meeting and promote it. This year, we're kind of going to do a little bit of a different format for Make the Most of Your Major, but that's a really big one. So if you're new to the major and you're wondering, what am I supposed to do next spring? Basically, you go in there, every single professor will go over their courses and what to do, all the prereqs, all of that. So it's basically like, come to the meeting, and we will help you. It's basically the key part of that. But we also do a bunch of cool events like our alumni guest speakers meeting, which is Monday, October 7th. And we also do a bunch of off-campus field trips. For instance, we went to a realty company on Tuesday called Nest Realty. We did that to kind of so comm majors can ask questions about real estate and kind of see, what other career opportunities there are. And then another one we're doing is a marketing firm called Taylor Gray, which a CSS member actually got an internship at from going to that field trip. So show up to our field trips. But that's kind of the main thing we do. And then we try to have a couple of fun meetings here and there.
Awesome. And so with those meetings and some of the examples you just mentioned, do you have a favorite past event that you've done?
Favorite past event? I guess, we went to Taylor Gray last year too. That was a huge event because I was that was my first time being in charge and coordinating something off campus. And that meeting was very interesting to get to because for the meeting, the person who was supposed to drive me couldn't make it. So then I had to put myself and the entire wheelchair into my friend's Mustang. And that's not my favorite part about it, but my favorite part was I put all the effort in and day of disaster happens because I can't drive. And I was still able to get there and do it. And the meeting went well and it went really good. And because it went so well, they actually offered us other field trip opportunities. So that's kind of my favorite event we've ever done, besides the whole, how am I going to get to the meeting? But it was very successful. So that was my favorite event we've probably ever done. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad everything worked out. So how has CSS prepared you, and what has CSS done for you?
It's kind of given me perspective, because as the person who's kind of in charge, I kind of feel like I really get what Dr. Olson and the department is trying to do. So I've kind of had, as I always joke, I've had the comm department Kool-Aid. So like I know exactly, what the point is of what we're getting out of this. But really, it's also given me a lot of perspective too, of like what it is like to help students. Because the main thing with Communication Studies Society is we want to meet people where they are. So if we have a meeting where they're like, you need to have a LinkedIn page, you need to have a bunch of jobs, it's like, no, that's not general enough. So the whole point of the meetings is giving me perspective is how can we help a wide range of people? So for instance, we have a lot of PCOM majors, pre-communication studies. So how can we meet them, but also help the comm studies senior who's trying to graduate? And so that's kind of what we negotiate. And we do a resume workshop where we're meeting people where they are is important. So it's kind of giving me a lot of perspective and a lot of purpose too. Because I really like to go all in on stuff that I do. And so now I feel like I'm all in with the major. And so that's kind of what it's given me a lot of. So.
Yeah, that's really great. So what would you say that the future of CSS looks like, or any specific upcoming events? I know you mentioned a few, but.
Well, the future looks like I'm graduating in December, so that's changing. Actually, Kylie is going to be our new president, so heard it here first. But the future looks like, I don't know. I want the effort I put in to keep going. So I want to keep this momentum going, because reviving a student organization after COVID is impossible. And I feel like we've done well with that, but the future is, me to graduate, and that, everything that I've helped set up and put in place is able to continue, and we're able to still help students and do all the things that I think is what makes CSS super important.
Yeah, that's awesome, and I'm definitely excited to be a part of that journey as well, of course. Is there anything else you'd want to say to any potential future members?
Do you want me to pitch CSS?
Yes.
Okay. So you should join CSS because it's really cool, and we have free pizza. No, in all seriousness, we're a club that makes it really easy to become an active member. You need 7 active membership points. We work with you, and then at the end of the semester, to be an active member, you actually have to do a blood oath. We all do it. No, I'm kidding. There's no blood oath, unfortunately. That goes against campus policy, so no. But in all seriousness, please join. I put a lot of work into this. It will help you. I promise you, if you show up, it will help you. Like, promise. And, if you show up and you're like, yeah, this Reece guy sucks, you at least get free pizza and a free t-shirt. So that's why you should join CSS.
Yes, all right, that was great. Stick around, and coming up next, we'll see which communication classes are Reece's favorite.
If you want to learn more about the Comm Studies Society, follow at UNCW_CSS on Instagram. Their next meeting is Monday, October 7th at 6 p.m. in Lutzy Hall, room 134. The Make the Most of Your Major meeting is Monday, October 21st, and the Tayloe Gray Marketing Firm field trip is Monday, November 4th. All PCOM and comm majors are welcome.
All right, Reece, so since you're graduating this semester, you have a wide range of comm classes that you've taken at your time at UNCW. So we curated a list of all of the classes you've taken, and today we're going to play a game called This or That. We'll give you 2 class options to pick from, and then you'll pick and choose which class you prefer.
Okay. Let's hope I don't get in trouble.
All right, so our first 2 class options are public speaking or intro to communication.
Damn. This is a tough one. Okay, we're starting off very strong. I'm gonna go with public speaking because it's like I use that skill every day for CSS meetings. So I'm gonna go with public speaking.
All right, and so now public speaking or Comm 200 research methods.
Okay, this is gonna be a hot take, but research methods.
All right, so research methods or essentials of IMC.
Research methods.
Okay, now would you do essentials of IMC or intro to media production?
I think you meant research methods, but I got what you
Sorry,
meant.
yes.
Okay, intro to media production. I'm sorry. I like that class more.
All right, and why would you say that?
Well, because Purnell is the greatest professor on God's green earth. No, I liked what we learned, and I used it in comm media a lot, so I kind of use that more in the major. But research methods kind of use it for everything, but for that one, it was more media specific.
All right, cool. So then would you say intro to media production or rhetorical theory?
Intro to media production, 20-page conspiracy theory paper was a pain. Sorry, Professor Bollinger.
Then intro to media production or communication theory?
Oh, intro to media production. No, not even close.
All right, so now how about strategic writing in IMC or intro to media production?
Media production.
All right, media production is winning. How about desktop publishing to intro to media production?
Okay, I'm going with intro to media production because desktop publishing last semester was the first time it happened. So
Okay.
that class went interestingly, but Dr. Stewart's teaching it again, and it's much better. But I have to go with media production again.
Media production is a favorite. Okay, so how about intro to media production or studio production?
Studio.
Why is that?
Well, because the studio is where you use the skills from 280 in here. So that's kind of why I like that one better.
Yeah, definitely. It's more application based. Would you say studio video production 1 or audio storytelling and podcasting?
Podcasting, because the person I worked with, his name is Dean. He is so good at podcasting. I was so proud of what we came up with. So that one's definitely above it.
Awesome. Would you say the podcasting class or studio production 2?
Oh, digital drip. No, digital drip. No, yep, that one's top. Upper echelon of favorite courses.
All right. And then we have Peer 601, the IMC practicum, or studio video production 2.
Shit. Oops. Well, because I'm wearing the T-shirt, I have to go with Peer 601. I mean, digital drip is great, but I mean, it's like Peer 601. Final answer. Locking it in.
And why would you say that?
Because last semester, I had to basically leave school for 2 months because of an injury, and I was still able to complete all these big projects and come back and able to make it successful. So that's kind of why what it was. That was like the big push was I was still able to get everything I wanted to and accomplished it. And it was a really hard semester in that class. So yeah, just getting through that is kind of why it's my favorite, and I'm in the class again, so it's kind of why it's my favorite.
Nice. That's cool. All right, and finally, would you say the Comm Studies Capstone, Comm 400, or Peer 601?
Oh, everybody knows the answer. Peer 601. Capstone is interesting.
Looks like Peer 601 is our winner. Well, thank you so much for coming out today, Reece. That's all the time we have. Remember to follow at UNCW_CSS on Instagram to learn more about the club, and we'll see you next time on The Current.